What happens when artificial intelligence starts shaping decisions about health, transport, law, and everyday life? The central question is not only what these systems can do, but whether they act in ways that respect human values. To answer that, you need to examine ethics, alignment, responsibility, fairness, and safety together. This unit explores the ethical, fairness, and explanatory dimensions of artificial intelligence as these systems become more integrated into society. It is organized around three broad areas: ethics in artificial intelligence, fairness and bias in machine learning, and explainable artificial intelligence. The aim is to support critical engagement, fairness measures, and explainable solutions. Ethical implications in artificial intelligence are grounded in established ethical theories. These include deontology, consequentialism, virtue ethics, and utilitarianism. Together, they provide different ways to judge whether artificial intelligence should follow rules, focus on outcomes, reflect moral character, or maximize overall benefit while limiting harm. Deontology is concerned with following rules and principles. In artificial intelligence, that means designing algorithms to follow ethical guidelines and avoid harm regardless of outcomes. Consequentialism focuses on results, so development should maximize benefits while minimizing harm, such as improving healthcare outcomes or reducing bias in decision-making systems. Ethical development should reflect fairness, responsibility, and transparency. Virtue ethics centers on the character of the moral agent, such as developers or organizations deploying artificial intelligence. Utilitarianism, as a branch of consequentialism, emphasizes maximizing overall happiness or utility, but applications should not deliver majority benefits by infringing on minority rights. Artificial intelligence raises questions about autonomy, agency, moral status, responsibility, accountability, fairness, and bias. Systems that make decisions challenge ideas about human autonomy, especially when they override human judgment. Debate also continues over whether advanced artificial intelligence could deserve moral consideration or rights, and who should answer when harm occurs. Artificial intelligence-powered surveillance threatens privacy and freedom. Several developments sharpen these ethical concerns. Artificial general intelligence raises existential risks and moral questions about humanity's role and survival. Automation may displace workers and deepen inequality. Autonomous weapons introduce life and death decisions without human oversight, bringing debates about just war theory into view. Facial recognition technology raises concerns about bias and discrimination against certain racial groups. Chatbots and virtual companions raise worries about emotional manipulation and dependency. Artificial intelligence in criminal justice raises the risk of biased sentencing or false positives in predictive policing. Each example prompts deeper questions about privacy, fairness, justice, and human relationships. Broader philosophical ideas also shape artificial intelligence ethics. Humanism stresses human welfare and dignity. Existentialism examines freedom and choice when systems influence decisions and encourages resistance to technological determinism. Posthumanism explores blurred boundaries between humans and machines and suggests new ethical paradigms for coexistence with intelligent systems. Several frameworks guide responsible development. The Asilomar Artificial Intelligence Principles focus on safety, transparency, and alignment with human values. The European Union Artificial Intelligence Act prioritizes fairness, accountability, and minimization of harm. The Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers' ethically aligned design promotes a human-centric approach to artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence ethics examines the moral principles and societal impacts linked to development and use. As systems grow more capable, they create challenges around responsibility, fairness, and transparency. Large language models introduce particular concerns because they make complex decisions and are used in sensitive areas such as healthcare, law, and education. Ethical concerns grow when those decisions affect human lives. At the same time, many systems rely on large amounts of personal data, creating privacy concerns around facial recognition, personalized advertising, predictive policing, informed consent, data ownership, and surveillance. Assigning responsibility for artificial intelligence-driven outcomes is difficult, especially where harm or bias is involved. Developers, organizations, and end users may share accountability. This becomes harder when systems operate as black boxes. Large language models add explainability challenges because their decision-making processes are difficult to interpret, even in critical applications. Stronger data protection, informed consent, and limited data collection can address privacy. The alignment problem is the challenge of ensuring artificial intelligence operates in ways that match human values, intentions, and societal goals. This is especially important in large language models, which optimize objectives that may not reflect ethical or moral considerations. Misaligned objectives, ambiguous human values, and unintended consequences are central difficulties. When alignment fails, several risks follow. Large language models trained on biased data may perpetuate or worsen inequalities. They can also produce plausible but factually incorrect content, leading to misinformation. In autonomous systems, poor alignment can cause unintended harm in healthcare, autonomous vehicles, and legal applications where decisions carry serious consequences. Ethical frameworks guide alignment analysis. Utilitarianism aims to maximize happiness or minimize harm, but can overlook minority rights and depends on subjective judgments about outcomes. Deontological ethics emphasizes rules such as privacy and avoiding harmful content, yet rules can be rigid. Virtue ethics values honesty, empathy, and fairness, though virtues are difficult to define universally. Responsibility in artificial intelligence means deciding who is accountable for decisions and actions performed by autonomous systems. This becomes ethically and legally important in healthcare, law enforcement, and transportation. The problem is complex because of autonomous decision-making, limited transparency, shared roles among stakeholders, and legal frameworks that struggle with unclear liability. 3 models are presented. A strict liability model holds developers or organizations responsible, regardless of fault. A shared responsibility model distributes responsibility among developers, users, and organizations. An agency-based model treats artificial intelligence as an independent agent with partial responsibility, though this remains limited in practice and mainly part of philosophical debate. 2 vehicle cases illustrate the debate: the Tesla autopilot crash and the Uber autonomous vehicle fatality. They raise questions about developer responsibility, driver responsibility, organizational oversight, and system design failure. The material also argues that artificial intelligence lacks consciousness, intentionality, and moral reasoning, which limits its status as a moral agent. Artificial intelligence safety focuses on preventing harm as systems become more autonomous and enter high-stakes settings. Philosophical debate examines machine consciousness, precautionary measures, and long-term implications. Questions include whether machines could become self-aware, whether conscious systems would deserve rights, and how proactive safety measures should be applied before certainty exists. 02030405. The precautionary principle calls for proactive measures to avoid harm even without full certainty. In healthcare and autonomous vehicles, that means continuous testing, transparency, human oversight, ethical programming, and regulatory testing. Longer-term debates address employment, economic inequality, dependence on artificial intelligence companions, superintelligent systems, control, and existential risk to humanity. The core task is to develop artificial intelligence in ways that protect human values, reduce harm, and remain accountable.